Boredom. The one emotion we've been taught to fear more than sadness, more than anger, even more than pain. Because pain, at least, feels alive. But boredom, it feels like nothing, like a void. A quiet panic creeping in when the noise finally stops. So we run, not from danger, but from stillness. We reach for our phones before our minds have a chance to settle. We open 5 tabs to avoid confronting a single thought. We scroll, consume, refresh, not because we're curious, but because we're afraid of what silence might reveal. But what if boredom wasn't the enemy? What if it's not a glitch in the system, but the reset button? What if everything we're searching for, depth, presence, creativity, even peace, has been quietly waiting on the other side of boredom all along? In an age of endless distraction, boredom has become taboo. Our lives are engineered to eliminate it. Fast-paced entertainment, instant notifications, bite-sized content, it's all built to keep us stimulated. Every second of stillness is interrupted by an app, a buzz, a flash of dopamine. We've been conditioned to believe that boredom is a waste of time, a failure of our environment to entertain us. But here's the truth. Boredom is not a sign of emptiness. It's a doorway. It's a rare, sacred space where your mind is finally free to wander, to reflect, to reconnect. And the fact that we fear it so deeply reveals just how far we've drifted from ourselves. Because boredom, true, uninterrupted boredom, is where the soul speaks. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in silence with your own thoughts? No music, no notifications, no stimulation, just you, your breath, your awareness. If the idea of that makes you uncomfortable, you're not alone. Most people today would rather shock themselves than sit in silence for 15 minutes, literally. In a study from the University of Virginia, many participants chose to give themselves painful electric shocks rather than be left alone with their thoughts. That's how deeply we fear boredom. But this fear isn't natural. It's manufactured. It's the product of a culture addicted to stimulation. Every app, every video, every advertisement is fighting for your attention, training your brain to need constant input, constant noise. The result? A society that's lost the ability to be still. And here's the consequence no one wants to talk about. The death of boredom has also meant the death of creativity. Because creativity is born in boredom. It is in those quiet, nothing-to-do moments that the brain begins to connect ideas in new ways. It's when your subconscious mind finally gets the...
Einstein came up with the theory of relativity while daydreaming. Newton discovered gravity in the stillness of the countryside. Steve Jobs often spoke about the power of boredom to spark innovation. But in today's world, we don't even let ourselves get bored long enough to think. We fill every space, every gap. Even our showers are now filled with waterproof speakers and podcasts designed to optimize our time. We're not optimizing, we're outsourcing our inner lives. We've become so uncomfortable with silence that we never give ourselves the space to hear what's going on inside. And that's dangerous, because if you never sit in boredom, you never confront your thoughts. And if you never confront your thoughts, you never really know yourself. That's the paradox. We think boredom is emptiness, but it's actually the birthplace of meaning. It's in the boredom that your real desires surface. It's in the boredom that your buried emotions rise up. It's in the boredom that your mind stops reacting and starts reflecting. And what happens when you run from that too long? You become numb, not just to boredom, but to life itself. This is what dopamine overstimulation does. Every time we reach for stimulation to escape boredom, whether it's TikTok, junk food, porn, endless YouTube shorts, we're flooding our brains with artificial dopamine. But dopamine doesn't just give you pleasure. It teaches your brain what to want. And when you overfeed it, your receptors begin to dull. This is why nothing feels as good anymore. Why the things that used to make you happy don't hit the same. Why you need more and more to feel less and less. Your brain has been hijacked, and boredom, genuine unplugged boredom, is the antidote. It's the moment when your dopamine levels reset, when your brain finally gets to breathe, when your body stops consuming and starts creating. But we don't talk about boredom like that. We treat it like a bug to be fixed instead of a feature to be embraced. And that's the tragedy, because boredom is one of the last few spaces where the self can actually emerge. If happiness is fleeting and overstimulation is numbing, then boredom might be the only thing left that can wake us up. So the next time you feel bored, don't fight it. Don't run. Lean in. Because here's the truth. You're not bored. You're unburdened. You're not wasting time. You're reclaiming it. You're not doing nothing. You're finally doing what your mind has needed for years. Space to just be.
And if you're willing to sit in that space long enough, something beautiful starts to happen. The noise settles, your thoughts slow down, and in that quiet, you start to hear a voice you haven't heard in a long time. Your own. You begin to feel the texture of your mind again, not what the world told you to think or feel or fear, but your actual self. The self beneath the roles, the stimulation, the distraction. The self that was there before all of it. This is why the ancient philosophers valued solitude. This is why monks retreat into silence. Why artists stare at empty canvases. Because in the absence of noise, something timeless appears. Call it clarity. Call it presence. Call it God. Whatever it is, it doesn't live in the fast lane. It lives in the stillness, in the slowness, in the sacred nothingness we've been taught to avoid. And this isn't just philosophical. There's science behind it too. Boredom activates the default mode network in the brain, a system linked to introspection, memory consolidation, and creativity. This means that boredom isn't just passivity, it's mental repair. So why are we terrified of it? Because boredom forces us to feel, to confront the parts of ourselves we usually bury under playlists and algorithms. But here's the secret. That confrontation is freedom. Because once you face yourself in boredom, the world starts to open back up. Music sounds richer, conversations feel deeper, books come alive, time slows down, you rediscover wonder, you begin to live again, not as a consumer of moments, but as a creator of them. Now, if you've made it this far, you might be asking, how do I begin? How do I break the addiction to stimulation and actually embrace boredom? Here's how. First, create space for nothing. Turn off the screens. Leave your phone in another room. Go for a walk without music. Sit in silence. Stare out a window. Let your mind wander and resist the urge to fix the boredom. Second, feel the discomfort. You will be tempted to distract yourself. Don't. Let your brain detox. Let your nervous system slow down. You've been overstimulated for so long that peace might feel like pain at first. That's normal. Stay with it. Third, build a boredom practice. 15 minutes a day. No goal, no task, no stimulation. Just presence. Just being. Call it meditation. Call it daydreaming. Call it doing nothing. It doesn't matter.
What matters is that you protect that space like your life depends on it. If this message hit something inside you, give this video a like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more content that doesn't just entertain you, it awakens you. Because this isn't about escaping boredom, it's about rediscovering the beauty of it. We'll see you in the next one.